G'day there, Ray Corcoran here. In this week's video, we're going to be talking about how to build bulletproof confidence. Very few people are naturally confident, in my opinion. And I know for me, as a kid, I wasn't super confident, but over time, I built up my confidence as I went. And in this video, I want to talk about some of the things that I found really helpful to build my confidence so that I could move forward in my career and build my wealth. We're also going to be looking at the things that erode your confidence. So it's not just about building your confidence, but it's also being conscious of things that can actually take away from your confidence and make you a little bit more rattled and less likely to take action. Because a lot of progress and success will come from you taking action. And when you have a low level of confidence, you typically take less action. So we're going to talk about that in this video as well. So with that said, let's get into the video. If you like the video as well, please give it a like. It does help it be shown to more people. So step number one is practice micro confidence. So you don't typically go from having no confidence to heaps of confidence overnight. You kind of need to get there in baby steps typically. So what I'd recommend is looking at ways that you can practice having confidence in a small way before building up to something bigger. A good example of this is I found that I do a lot of speaking on stage for my business, and I've found that in the past that doing speaking in front of 2 or 3 people, then 20 people, then 50, 100, 200, 1,000 plus, you kind of build up to it to the point where you are desensitized to certain situations. So I really recommend that, whether it's even little things in everyday life. So if you do, I don't know, you order some food, and it comes out missing some ingredient or whatever it is, even just practicing speaking up and correcting someone on that can be a good way to build your confidence. A lot of people are very avoidant of confrontation or any conversations that could be awkward or difficult. And it really is a practice game, and doing it more and more to the point where you are confident asking for something to be fixed or corrected, and you're not afraid of having that conversation. A great bit of advice I got in the past was, if you want to be trusted with large amounts of responsibility, prove yourself with small amounts of responsibility first. So even something as minor as going to get the team coffee and getting all the orders right can be a really good way of you, in a small way, practicing your own skill set and getting stuff done. And you typically can get trusted with bigger and bigger and more serious things as you go. Number 2, change who you hang out with. One of the biggest things that can erode your confidence is the people around you. And while we may not be able to control how much time we spend with everybody around us, like with family, we do want to either minimize or totally eliminate the time that we spend with certain people. Many people, their family might undermine their confidence, their partner, their friends, co-workers. There's all these people in our lives that sometimes they will hurt our confidence. And I'm not talking about constructive feedback, because that's very, very useful to grow. But in terms of people that always doubt what you're doing, make you second guess what you're doing, maybe not that enthusiastic when you're thinking about trying something new or starting a business or whatever it is. You want to be around people that are, on your side and backing you. And not everybody has your best intentions at heart. Most people are relatively nice, but there are people that are a bit more toxic, and we want to move away from those people because ultimately they're going to be affecting and undermining your confidence on a regular basis. Number 3 is the competence-confidence loop. So you'll find with anything that you're very, very good at that you naturally have a higher level of confidence. It's pretty logical. And what I'd recommend is, if you're in any industry or whatever it is where you are low on confidence, then I really recommend investing a lot more hours into learning your craft and getting better and better and better. Even something as simple as, I know when I had my son, the stuff like changing nappies was, I was very not confident at it because my confidence was just low. And now it's something I can do very easily, as all parents would have gone through this. And it's just a case of doing the practice. But a lot of people have low confidence and they think they're not good at something, but realistically, they just haven't put that many hours into learning how to do it. So the more time you put into whatever your endeavor is, typically you'll get better, and that confidence will naturally come with practice. And as they say, repetition is the mother of skill. One graph that I've shown on this channel before is where if you have low belief or confidence, you take less action. And if you take less action, you get less results, which reinforces your lower confidence and lower belief levels. So that's something to be very conscious of, is if you don't think you can do something, you kind of end up being this like downward spiral that is self-fulfilling. So keep an eye on that, and just understand that the bigger your confidence levels, the more action you take, and then the more results you see. And your brain starts to have a bit of a, they can see a direct correlation between you taking effort and getting results, and then you start to get momentum, which is crucial. Number 4 is don't wait for an arbitrary point in the future to be confident. For a lot of people, they have this random goal down the track that once I hit this, then I'll be confident. You don't want this to be conditional. You don't want it to be, once I've done this, then I will be confident. Some people, they go to university for like a bajillion years and they do their bachelor's and master's and PhD and all this sort of stuff. And some of the smartest people you know are the least confident, and the opposite is true. Some of the dumbest people you know are the most confident. And what I'd really recommend to people is understanding that, having some arbitrary point in the future is just kicking the can down the road for no reason. You can be confident even if you aren't super experienced. And while mastery takes years and years, you also don't want to wait till you're like in your late 70s to start being confident. It just doesn't make any sense. And you can be confident without being arrogant early in your career, just by making decisions, moving forward with things, and all that sort of stuff. Number 5 is simply not giving a f. At the end of the day, something that really affects people's confidence is what other people think of their actions. If you are permanently worried and scared of what other people are going to say about what you do, you're never going to be confident, because you're always like, oh, I hope they don't have a problem with what I'm about to do or what I think. One of my favorite quotes of all time is, dogs bark, but the caravan moves on. And this is especially true here, that you can have people that make comments and whatever. And I know that earlier in my career, I was very conscious of what other people said about my work or things I said, or the responses to things I've said. But over time, I've realized that a lot of these opinions basically don't mean anything, and they're not constructive. And I don't really care. For my career, I'm doing what I'm going to do, and whatever they think of it is completely irrelevant. That's none of my business what they think about what I'm doing. And some people just simply care too much about the opinions of others around them, and that contributes to their low confidence. Obviously we need to be empathetic to other people, but we also don't need to give too much weight to other people's opinions. You've got your path, and that's what you're doing, and that's that. Number 6 is getting fit. Now, this might be an obvious one, but a lot of your confidence comes from your energy levels. And if you don't have much energy, you're not gonna probably be super confident. There's been countless studies that show the correlation, both direct and indirect, between being fit and exercising and also stuff like getting sleep and all that, to having higher energy levels and higher levels of self-esteem and confidence. If you're someone that isn't confident, start small with your exercise and work your way up, whether it's just going for a walk around the block 1 day a week and then 2 days a week and so on. But exercise is, in my opinion, a no-brainer when it comes to building your confidence. I found when I'm out of shape and haven't been exercising, I just feel like low on energy. I don't feel like I have that spark and that spring in my step. And I think that, the studies show that is true basically universally. Number 7, document evidence of success. So a lot of people, everyone has bad days. Everyone has days where they don't feel like they're the man or the woman or whatever it is. And they don't feel that sort of energy that they may normally have. And everyone has bad days in their career where they didn't perform as well as they wanted to. One thing that I like to do is to have evidence and proof of my own past successes. And obviously at the start of your career, you won't have many, but after many, many years, you'll have a whole bunch. And what I like to do is I'll actually screenshot nice things that clients have said about client results, because I end up advertising these, anyway, and putting testimonials on my website for my business. And that sort of stuff. But even if you don't have a business, just having documentation of nice things people have said, and also any kind of results and outcomes that you have generated. Because a lot of the time, you kind of forget, a lot of people put unnecessary weight on one bad thing that they did or one mistake that they made, even though they had 99 other things that went really, really well and they did fantastic. So I hope you found that useful. That's 7 hopefully practical tips that you can use to build your confidence and ultimately get to your goals much quicker than you would have otherwise. If you have any tips of your own, I'd love to hear them in the comments, or if you found any of these specific tips super useful, would love to hear which one you like the most. If you like the video, give it a like, and if you want to subscribe, I do weekly videos on this sort of stuff every single week. So yeah, thanks.